Hi guys, ArchieLuxury on the Paul Pluta channel. Today guys, I'm doing a paid review. This is for Benjamin and this is paid review 21QA102. And before we start this paid review, let's do a quick wristwatch check. I'm wearing a Milgauss. That's right, I'm wearing my Millie, the Milgauss. This is the Z Blue. Okay, let's jump in. Hi. Some months ago, I sent you a donation and some words of appreciation for your channel. They are clearly one of a kind, and I value your opinion and honest reactions. Since then, I've sent you €200 for a paid review. I'm not sure I'd be comfortable with a public video response. I also consider my watch enthusiasm a guilty pleasure. I also understand very well that the amount spent on my current collection must be considered obscene by many people. I wouldn't want to invite the evil eye, but I may still agree to a public response if it helps your channel. Of course it helps my channel. People love to see other people's collections. I'm a renowned fiction writer, former journalist, and owner and CEO of an IT company. 50 with 4 great kids between 3 and 18. My watch journey started at 14 with a gift from my grandfather. It was a Russian Poljot dress watch on a bracelet, both pleated with yellow gold. My grandfather got it as a gift from a cosmonaut he used to play chess with. It was stolen from me very soon during a swimming competition when I had to take it off and failed to store it safely. I never forgave myself for this negligence and subsequent loss of this memorable piece. My other grandfather left me a gold savonette built in the 50s on the remaining workbenches of the then disowned Lange factory. It stopped working when he died some 45 years ago, and I only got it shortly before his daughter, my mother, died last year. This one is cherished. I got it repaired and restored and wind it occasionally. It's a wonderful piece. I was raised in socialist East Germany. There was never much money in my family, so I wore plastic pocket watches that I bought from my allowance, and that used to last no longer than a year. Later on came digital quartz, and I even felt guilty paying high three figures in the 90s for a Maurice Lacroix quartz chronograph, which I considered top-notch when I landed my first better paid job as a journalist. Since its introduction, I lusted after a rose gold Lange 1 with argent dial, but it was out of reach financially, and so I thought would be forever. Then I bought my first really precious piece after excelling in IT projects. I settled for a Chrono Swiss Delphis in red gold, but it never made good for not having a Lange 1. After the birth of my second child, I finally purchased one, but had to sell it a year later. Bought another one 2 more years later and had to sell that too, during tumultuous business struggles. I came to value Rolex so much more affordable in the early 2000s than today, trading in and out several models from Datejust to Day-Date, Daytona, Explorer 1, and the Sea Dweller. Later, an AP Audemars Piguet Royal Oak 15300 that even played a prominent role in a chapter of one of my novels. After a divorce, I was left with many deep scars and just one watch, a black ceramic GMT that I wore for many years. Working hard and being blessed with a second marriage, 2 more children, and great business opportunities, I was tempted to trade that GMT, still in perfect condition and 60% up in value after just being discontinued, into a then brand new Pepsi GMT on Jubilee. I caught the bug again, added a Sky Dweller in steel, traded up into an all white gold Sky Dweller, at that point undeservedly low in price. When the business bloomed as never before, I was thinking of buying the red gold Lange one again. But meanwhile, I much prefer white metals. I love platinum for the color and weight, and steel for the toughness. I thought I may now buy something that could be expensive, but that I could actually keep. So I went Lange, but bought an original datograph in platinum, a watch I had adored for its incomparable movement since its inception. That was, however, all those years, financially so much more out of reach than the Lange one, that I never thought I would own it someday. Before Corona hit, I started looking into Patek. Your intense, almost hypnotizing call for Patek, and I don't spell it out, together with the passionate videos about your own acquisitions, have been enticing. With the data in the background, I looked into the hand-wound chronos, and for my 50th birthday, I managed to get a good deal on a new 5170p. Wowzers. Full set, and wore this and the Dato in rotation. The Patek from the 1st to 15th, the Dato from the 15th to the end of the month. The big date looks so much more pleasing with both date windows filled. I also gifted my wife a 1987 yellow gold Calatrava 3796, which looks outstanding on her. Very, very, very interesting read here. With business going excellent, I found myself with my company in an awkward situation. Good liquidity is penalized. We have to pay penalty interest for earned and taxed money in the bank. So I came up with the idea to park some equity in well-selected watches. I only wanted to buy what I really like and want to wear, but with the addition that I shouldn't lose too much if I need to sell someday and have to sell the piece. I missed the chance to buy a jaune centrograph in platinum for a good price, but managed to buy a 5711A and a 5980A on the low of their dips last year. Full set, about 10 years old, in good condition, never serviced. I got them serviced. The 5980 is a favorite daily wear. The last edition was a 5164A. That's a Aquanaut. Also a perfect watch for travel, especially into hot countries. The entire collection has risen in value, and that brings me to my question. Although I admire the beauty of the 5712 movement, I don't wear it anywhere anymore after it got serviced. It feels a little too small, and I have problems reading the date indication. The 5980 just feels like the Nautilus for me, the perfect fit, albeit its movement with the hidden chrono works is much less appealing. The 5712A has made a 48% up since I bought it. I now have the opportunity to replace it with a 200 piece limited edition Lange Zeitwerk in platinum, silver dial, old style Lange platinum deployment, unworn, box and papers. I would never be left with some extra cash. There is no doubt that this Lange is by far better value and absolute intriguing movement, and really rare versus scarce. I am also thinking of selling the Sky Dweller. I don't wear it for over a year. It feels too big and flashy, and only my admiration for the mechanics, the combination of annual calendar and GMT with the ring command bezel are holding me back. There is no need to sell the Sky Dweller, but I won't buy the Zeitwerk without letting the 5712A go. So I'm interested in your opinion. Should I trade the 5712 up to the Lange? Should I sell it or keep the Sky Dweller when I don't wear it, when it just sits in the safe? Kind regards, Benjamin. Well, Benjamin, thank you so much. You have come to the right channel here. What a fantastic story. And I gotta say, firstly, congratulations. Congratulations. You have done so well. How could you not be happy with the financial gains that you have achieved? Absolutely have done so well there. So let's just have a look at these pieces. Let's take stock and I'll give you my answer. So firstly, you've got the wife's Patek. I got to tell you, that looks very similar to a 5196. This is actually an interesting watch because it's so much smaller than the 5196, and it is perfect for a lady to wear. I think it's 33 mils. Great piece. I got to tell you, you've got the datograph. What an amazing piece. That is sensational. Lange, they make some absolutely amazing pieces. Absolutely amazing. That is a beautiful piece. You've got the Patek Travel Time Aquanaut. That is to die for. Absolutely so lucky. The 5164A. Absolutely adore that piece. You've got the 5712, which uses the 240 micro rotor movement. That's probably the most valuable. I think it's so much better than the 5711 because instead of using a 315 or a 324 movement, you're using a 240 movement. That's why you've got the sub-second at the side, to the side there. This is probably, in my opinion, one of the, I think it's the most beautiful Nautilus. You've got the beautiful blue dial on it. It is absolutely breathtaking. Breathtaking is the only words I can describe that. That is absolutely stunning. You've got the 5980. My God, it doesn't get better than that. You have got a Pepsi. You've got a Pepsi. You've got the Sky Dweller in white gold. You've got the pocket watch. What do I think? I think you've got some absolutely beautiful things there. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely, no questions asked. Beautiful. So you're asking me the question. I got to say, well done. Absolutely well done. So to answer your question there, okay, so let's have a look at this. Now, that you raise a couple of interesting points, and I'll get to that in a minute there, about if you're not wearing it, how does that justify selling it? I don't understand that. See, you can get enjoyment out of something. You don't have to use it to get enjoyment. It's like people who keep a Ferrari or a classic car and they put very little kilometers on it. That doesn't mean they don't love it. They could be thinking about it. They can see it. They can touch it. More importantly, they have control of it. So just because you're not wearing it, that's no justification for anything. I've got a couple of my Pateks. I hardly wear at all. My world time and my annual calendar, I hardly wear them. But that doesn't mean they're any less than pieces I wear. Like I really love to wear my Milgauss now. But that doesn't mean the Pateks, I don't love them less. It's just the type of pieces they are. Now, I got to tell you, you've paid big money and you want to get the answer. Okay, it's always very easy when you've made a lot of money on something to do silly things because you don't value it. The Zeitwerk is a magnificent Lange. The Zeitwerk is the one that instead of displaying the time conventionally, it's got the two windows. So it's very clever how it does do that. Would I trade in a 5712 to replace it with a Zeitwerk in platinum? No way in the world. Who is offering this deal? Is a dealer offering you this? Is it a straight swap? Are you going to sell it and then you... Because I can tell you this now, if a dealer is offering you this, dealers are interested in themselves. They're not interested in you. Personally, my own view is I would hold the 5712. Okay? That's my vibe. There's nothing wrong with the Zeitwerk. The problem is you've got this amazing piece. You got it at a much cheaper price. Just go with the flow. It was meant to be. Now, the Zeitwerk, they are very expensive, but they can be difficult to sell. There's a very small market for people who can afford that. And I can tell you this, if you needed to cash out, you'd get out of a 5712 a hell of a lot quicker and easier than a Zeitwerk. A Zeitwerk, you may have to take a considerable loss to get rid of it if you were in a hurry for the money. The 5711 is like, sorry, the 5712 is like cash, okay? So in my opinion, no way in the world. I would just hold the 5712, be grateful, thank your lucky stars and Jesus that you managed to got this at the right time. So my advice to you, do not sell, do not trade the Patek for the Lange. The Lange is amazing. If you've got the money, buy it by all means, but I wouldn't be trading the Patek. Because what's going to happen if you do this trade and then the prices of the 5712 keep going up and the Zeitwerk just holds its own? You're going to be upset. So I think you're in love with the Zeitwerk. Fair enough. I understand that. But I personally, you've paid the money. I'm giving you the advice. I would hold the Patek. The Patek has much more investment potential, much more potential to become even more collectible and valuable. I wouldn't do that swap. So that's my advice to you. No. So the answer is no. And I wouldn't criticize the 240 movement that's in the 5712. They use that same movement in the perpetual calendars. They use it in a lot. The world time, that is an amazing movement. So don't think Lange is that great. Remember, Lange is a Phoenix brand. It came back from the dead. And it's owned by Richemont. Patek is Patek. Okay? The next thing is I'm also thinking of selling the Sky Dweller. No, I would keep the Sky Dweller. The Sky Dweller in solid gold is special. Man, it is so special in gold. I have no idea why you'd sell it. So what? You're not wearing it. I don't wear a lot of my watches. It doesn't mean I'm less attracted to them. So my advice is no, I would keep. I mean, if you're short of money, understand. But if you're just doing it because that's the most silly justification. That is such a beautiful watch. You are so lucky to have that. Just be grateful that you have that there. So I would not sell the Sky Dweller. There was no need to sell the Sky Dweller, but I wouldn't buy the Zeitwerk without letting the 5712A go. No, I would keep the 5712. Forget the Zeitwerk. The Zeitwerk, man, have you seen the second-hand values? They really plummet. And if you don't believe me, why don't you ring a dealer and say, hey, I got a Zeitwerk, what would you give me for it? Just say to the dealer, I need to liquidate it quickly. What would you pay me out for it? And also tell them you've got a 5712. Just to see how savage this move would be. That's my advice to you. So, should I trade the 5712 up to the Lange? That's the horrible words. Should you... No, that's stupid. That's called a dumb move. And I'm here to tell you not to do it. Should I sell or keep the Sky Dweller when I don't wear it and it just sits in the safe? Of course not. It's possessing and hoarding. It's knowing you own it. It's control. That's the whole thing. It's not about having it, wearing it, and doing this and doing that. It's about control. We're control freaks. That's what we are. We are control freaks. So, to be totally honest with you, I would actually just keep what you've got. You have some pieces. These are super grails. super grails. I mean, a solid gold Sky Dweller. My God, that is an amazing watch. Solid gold Sky Dweller. Where the hell can you get a solid gold? That's just an achievement to have. I would not sell that. That is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm not so keen on the pocket watch, to be completely honest with you. The Pepsi, man, that is a beautiful, beautiful Pepsi. That is a gorgeous Pepsi. 5980. My God, a Patek Chrono. That's an amazing piece. The 5712, man, you are so lucky to have that. You got the Aquanaut, man. This is a collector's dream here. You just seem so ungrateful. You've got a Datograph. Okay, so you know what I would say is, I think, why don't you just buy a simple Lange for yourself? A simple 1815. I wouldn't sell anything. It's very silly to do trades and deals. Just keep what you've got. Enjoy them. You're not going to outfox dealers. Let me tell you that. Dealers, you're not going to outfox them. My best advice to you, keep the 5712. Ride this out. And it's such a beautiful watch. Personally, I don't think the Zeitwerk is that superior to the Patek. I would want, in my opinion, I'd prefer the 5712 any day of the week. Any day of the week. So I got to be totally honest with you. Lange has so many limited editions. That's all limited edition bullshit. I'd personally, my advice to you is to hold what you got. Enjoy it and love it. Hold what you got. That's what I'd be doing. Okay, guys, that's the show for today. Guys, like, subscribe, tell your friends. Don't be afraid to put some comments below. And remember, guys, I can't survive on Google Ads alone. These paid reviews, they really help me stay full-time on the YouTube. Without support, I can't survive here. Okay, guys, I will see you in the next one. Hi guys, ArchieLuxury, and who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Who do I recommend for watches in Brisbane and Sydney? Vintage Watch Co. That's correct. Vintage Watch Co. in Brisbane Arcade in Brisbane and the Strand Arcade in Sydney. Vintage Watch Co. Brisbane and Sydney. Ronnie, I've known him since the late 90s. Ronnie is a top bloke. Luke is a great guy. Vintage Watch Co. That is who I recommend in Australia. Check out Vintage Watch Co. and the guys' amazing range of watches. They also do service and repairs. Vintage Watch Co. That is where the Pontiff goes. You know, some of my Pateks came from Vintage Watch Co. That's right, guys. Vintage Watch Co.